Episode 4, A Meeting by Moonlight. Just kind of like warning my voice is off, so just saying. For all I've seen in my career, a letter via Lark is new and enormously interesting experience. Albert does not share my amazement. He jabs a finger at the letter and speaks his mind in 3 clear, stern words. That's a trap. You don't know that for certain? Come on, don't be naive. What else could it be? I don't know. I'm just trying to keep an open mind. I turn the paper over in my hands under the light. There's nothing else, just those 2 lines and the mysterious signature of a friend. All sorts of questions run through my mind. Who said this? Why? What sort of help, and what do they expect in return? It mentions a lake. Which lake? I assume they mean somewhere in the mundane realm, in the supernatural realm. If they know enough to send this note, they know I'm only seen 1 lake since getting here. It has to be the one where we met Glim. I think you're right. Only one way to find out. Let's go see. Neither of you is going anywhere. It's 2 against 1, Albert. You don't get to decide that anymore. Albert crosses his arms tightly over his chest. That doesn't change anything. You're my responsibility. Oh my god. We're not children. I'm not letting this chance pass me by just because you're paranoid. Our colleagues are having a disagreement. They currently are, though. Over what? I don't know. Something about this conversation is going over my head. Sorry, what's this about? You haven't told her yet? This isn't her business. Natty plants her hands on her hips. Their twin stares force me once again to pick sides. I'm not sure what you mean. Care to explain, Albert? What are you talking about? Natty, don't rope me into your argument. I mean, since Albert knows and Nettie pointed it out, I'll go with Albert. Let's focus on him. Care to explain? I might have taken measures to ensure Nettie's safety. That doesn't sound so bad. Nettie appreciates the backup. Say it plainly. Those measures mean I've never gone through the gate. Pardon? You've never been to the supernatural realm? Not once. But isn't your whole job to research the realm? Yes, it is. Albert shifts uncomfortably under her cold glare. I'm doing it for you, Henrietta. You could get hurt. And you could get hurt when I only have second-hand accounts. How am I supposed to support you without first-hand experience? It's not a theme park. I know it isn't. Like I said before, I'm not a child. Before this argument, or 2 people in the agreement, neither wants the other to be harmed. Their methods just differ as to how. Nettie's right. It's not just us 2 now. What are we supposed to do about this? I don't know if I should say. This seems like a personal disagreement. Albert has a good opinion of you. Don't be ridiculous. You're no stranger. I've seen the kind of person you are in a few days. If there's anyone I want to hear from, it's you. I have no idea I'd created such a good impression. A lot more, than that. I feel suddenly very shy, turning my face away from his straightforward, admiring stare. Can you do focus? Sorry. Well, go on, let's hear it. Someone actually asked for my help without resenting the intrusion. Belchester is one surprise after another. I think the note didn't say come alone. It's not my place to say. You should let Nettie come. You should let Nettie come. I mean, so far she's complained. If you remember last chapter, she actually complained about this, so. Between us, we can take care of her. I'm not a child. I don't need minding. You have no combat training, Henrietta. Don't full name me right now. I'm going and that's that. Albert sighs and draws his hand over his face. You're not going to be talked out of this, are you? Nope. No. No! His arms drop. The fight is lost. Yeah, he lost 3-1.
Fine. But if I say run, you run, got it?
Got it. Albert rolls his shoulders, trying to shake off the stress.
We got time until night. Everyone rest up just in case.
Daddy catches him on sleep while I deal with the usual mountain of paperwork, several agents having taken the remainder of my active cases have questions about the finer details. I'm happy for the chance to talk with fellow agents, honestly. Even a younger colleague, a little too eager to ask for solutions rather than work them out herself, is only momentarily a bother. I remember being that young and confused. A short walk and a long nap eat up the rest of the day. As night falls, we reconvene so Albert can address us again. My dude's donning an arm, shoulder guard, and a sword.
I'll say it one more time. If you both insist on going, you need to follow my lead, even if it isn't a trap.
Which you're sure that it is?
The forest is dangerous, on both sides. I won't let either of you get hurt, but that promise is contingent on you listening to what I say. This is my domain. My area of expertise. In these matters, you're going to defer to me.
He phrases it like a command. I mean, he's right, so I don't mind. Silently, I nod.
Good.
Albert tightens his belt in preparation for the trip. He now carries a long sword and wears a light set of armor. I thought it was an insult to Orion carrying weapons in his domain.
And if I meet him at his court, it is. Protection is necessary out in the wilds.
The trees sway in the night as a single dark mass. We're going through the tree woods, through them, and into the supernatural realm to rendezvous where anything might happen. I may get hurt. I may even lose my life. What choice do I have, though? This is my job. You work the case until it's done. That's the pub way. Okay, I'm ready.
Good. Let's get moving.
Basically, pub is like MIB, let's be honest. No creatures cross our path as we make for the gate, yet the forest is filled with the sound, running water, swaying branches, the rustle and crack of things moving in the undergrowth. Liesl, you're... My heart rate, I know, everything is fine, Sammy. You are certain? Just a little nervous? In London, you're always surrounded by humanity. It's hard out here to shake the feeling of total exposure, of being so far away from help. Sammy's automated check-in helps cool that fear down to a simmering nervousness. The rest of our journey is uneventful, which only makes Nettie more impatient. She's almost shaking with anticipation as we reach the clearing and see that now familiar bridge. This is it? She steps onto the bridge gingerly, like it all might disappear at the lightest touch. I don't see anything. Albert remains concerned at the foot of the bridge.
You don't have to do this if you're scared.
I'm not scared. Her fingertips brush the air tentatively. I was nervous too. Yeah? For a moment, I'm graced with the gentle warmth of her genuine smile. Thanks. Satisfied with the gate, she runs her hand along the mossy surface of the bridge stones. Knock thrice, witter shines, step forward.
This must be a lot for your first time. If you wait, I'll...
She doesn't. Nettie performs the ritual, steps backward, and disappears into the supernatural realm.
Nettie!
His frustration erupts in a ragged huff.
That girl, come on, we have to go after her.
Where did you think she was going to go, dude? As our vision clears, Albert is already sprinting, moving so urgently that he dashes right past Nettie, standing at the foot of the bridge.
There you are, don't run ahead like that. Are you okay?
Nettie nods, unable to tear her eyes away from the vibrant surroundings. It's really real. Her expression of wonder is unlike anything I've ever seen before.
There will be other times, Nettie, come on.
Nettie barely hears him. She shakes her head and steps off the bridge, reaching out to run her fingers along the stem of an enormous flower. Give her a moment, Albert. The wonder in her expression makes our grumpy researcher shine. Lips parted, eyes wide, she drinks in every detail of the magical land. Funny to think it was only yesterday I was feeling exactly the same way. What do you think? It's... Even she can't find the words. Her voice trails off into a wordless murmur. Yes, it certainly is. On impulse, Nettie crouches down and presses her hand into the grass, wet, cool, with evening dew. How often does this happen? Like, something actually living up to all your expectations?
Not often.
Nettie smiles. She and Albert might have been at odds about coming here, maybe for a very long time, but in this moment, all is forgiven. So this is what was all over your jacket every time you came through. You literally smelled of magic.
Pollen, actually.
Same difference. A slow semicircle brings her to the edge of the stream. Her fingers dip into the water, watching the gentle glimmering movements of the lily pads. Can you believe he has the gall to pretend all of this is some big bother? Unbelievable. Come here. Have you felt the water? I haven't, actually.
Ladies, we should really...
Actually, wait. No, we did. If you remember the water with Glim. Albert cuts himself off with a sigh. Yeah, now that I remember, unless I'm mistaken, we didn't touch the water.
Never mind. Do what you like.
Her head cocks to me, invitingly, and I join her. A moment like this should be relished. I crouch at her side and dip my fingers into the glistening stream. You're right, it's so cool and fresh. No pollen in the fairy, or no pollution in the fairy kingdom. I understand her joy. She's committed enough to mythology and folklore to dedicate her life to it. Now, finally, is her chance to experience it directly. Our fingers gently brush as we linger by the water, facing away from Albert, surrounded by impartial plants, trees. Her mask falls. Just for now, I'm the lucky person allowed to get a glimpse of what's beneath. God, I feel dizzy. Are you okay? Yeah, just happy. She looks past me and away through the trees, which ring the little clearing. This realm is enormous. There's so much to see, more than a person could experience in their whole lives. Her vision flies far beyond the forest, beyond the supernatural realm and into the unconscious. Then beyond that into the void. For a woman like her, limits do not exist. Only obstacles and ways to overcome them. By the time she returns, her eyes are bright and her cheeks glow warmly. I might never have gotten to see all this if it weren't for you.
She's not one to say sorry or thank you. Instead, she simply takes my hand.
Under the water, the motion is hidden, furtive, our bodies blocking Albert from seeing anything but two women crouching by the shore. Her face is close, very, very close, and very, very happy. I won't ever forget this. Not ever. It's nothing, really. No, it is something. Her fingers squeeze mine. I don't like owing anybody anything. That means repaying good acts as well as bad. I don't ask her to explain, nor does she offer a squeeze in return is all the answer we need. The moment feels like it could last forever. It's only the inconvenient burning in my thighs that force me to let go and stand. Nettie doesn't seem offended by my drawing back. She stands, two eyes never wavering from mine. Remember what I said, okay? Okay. She looked around a bit longer before letting out a long, satisfied sigh. Some great burden has finally been lifted from her shoulders. Okay, I'm ready. She flicks her fingers dry, sending a spray of water onto the dewy grass, and stuffs her hands back into her jacket. Finally. Shut up. In a loose line, we return to the path and continue on. Our route returns us to the lake from yesterday. It's silent.
Inasmuch as the forest can never be silent, wind rustling, the hooting of nocturnal birds, no different from the mundane realm in some ways. The undines are elsewhere. Under a tree, one leg crossed in front of the other, stands the only soul in sight. I thought it would be you.
Hi again.
For once, Glam is subdued. She watches us skirt around the lake and approach without so much as a smile.
So, this is what you really look like, Glinda. Mm-hmm, this is me.
Albert has no patience for pleasantries. He gets straight to the point. It's you. We're here. Now talk.
Talk? Well, first I wanted to apologize.
About?
Lord Orion. For Lord Orion, I don't know what's gotten into him lately. He's never usually like this.
First Rowan, then Glim. Everybody rushes to defend this man and his actions, no matter how openly he mocks and gloats.
Why are you so quick to apologize on his behalf? Is that out of
fear or loyalty? I hate questions like this, because I think it should be a statement of loyalty or fear. You could offer a secondary statement or question selection of love. Because, I mean, it could be loyalty or fear, but since I'm forced to choose... Loyalty.
Well, yes. All this aside, he's a wonderful person.
Hard pill to swallow, considering what all this is, Glim.
He has his quirks, that's all.
Silence falls. The pixie laces her fingers together, watching her sandaled toe scratch circles in the dirt.
I'm worried about him, and I think you're the only people who can help.
You want us to help him? We're the ones who came here for help. I hold up a hand to stop Albert before he can start.
What do you mean, Glim? Can he get help from his own court?
She bites her lip, looking up at the gentle swaying branches.
No, I don't think so, no. Why? He can't.
That's cryptic. Nettie and I share a look. It doesn't take a genius to work out that she's holding something back.
Glim, why are you so worried?
She's gone quiet again. This may require a firmer hand.
Glim, you brought us here. We can't do anything if you don't tell us what the problem is.
The little pressure is enough to make the pixie crumble. She nods rapidly, sniffling back a sob.
You're right. I just don't want to betray him. Why would you think that you're betraying him?
Because she's going behind his back to even meet us. Glim nods, utterly downcast.
I feel so guilty, but I can't bring this to anyone else.
I nod for her to continue. After taking a moment to gather her thoughts, she does.
He's worried about something. I don't know what, but something big enough that he's over-preparing like crazy. He's powerful, you know? Like really, really powerful, but whatever he's worried about is enough to scare him.
That's vague, Glim. Very vague.
I wish I could tell you more, but that's all I know. It's a big problem, and you're the only person powerful enough to help.
She looks directly at Albert as she says this. Me.
All the pixies recognize your power, Sir Knight. You started so young, and you've already become as amazing as your mother and your grandmother were. With the Lady Knight here, too, I think we might have a chance to help our lord.
There's a little more than an attendant's loyalty to her lord at work here. That Glim cares is not surprising. She cares deeply about absolutely everything, as far as I can tell from our short acquaintance. It's that she cares enough to betray him. That's the piece of puzzle that does not yet fit. You've learned a little more about Orion's situation. Not really. Let's get to the point, Glim. You said you could help in your letter. Can you take this gay ass off, Isla? Glim bounces on her heels a few times and hops into the air. Her wings flutter, and she begins to rise, gliding out over the cool, empty water of the Undine Lake.
I don't have that kind of power, but over that way there's a library. Lord Orion's private library, where all his knowledge is stored. A library. I have no records of this repository. She points into the forest along a winding animal trail. Follow this path until you see a twisted red oak. Go right until you find a deep river. Then follow it to the end, and there you'll find the library. Tell the guards that the deep woods must be nourished, and they'll let you in.
You can't expect us to believe that Orion would leave that what we need just lying around.
No, Sir Knight, I can't. But if what you need is anywhere, if you can learn how to help Lord Orion, you'll find it there. I'm sure of it. It's a shaky lead, and dangerous besides, but I'm not quite sure what to think. Albert, have you ever seen this library before?
Never. Sounds like something he'd have, though.
His fingers run over the hilt of his sword thoughtfully.
If we do go, we should go tomorrow. Navigating this forest at night is asking for trouble.
Watching Glim fluttering in the air gives me a sudden moment of clarity. Pixies, danger, hidden knowledge. How many years has it been since a case excited me like this? I feel shaken, wonderfully so, to the very depths of my soul. Tomorrow, then. I'd better get back before I'm missed. Safe travels, all of you. With pixie dust glimmer, she sails through the trees and is gone. Us mere mortals, we use our feet and walk all the way back home. Albert's timing the next morning is impeccable. I've just finished tidying up after breakfast, and 3 short, sharp raps at the door are sounded. Listen to me. My door. I'm already thinking of this cottage as mine. Mr. Knight wishes to see you. I figured. Come in, Albert. Albert steps inside, giving me a quick once-over.
Good, you're ready. We can leave soon. There's just one last thing I have to do before we can go.
Which is?
Getting permission.
I'm gonna need a little more than that, Albert.
Family policy is to get the approval of the local authorities if we do anything that might be considered a serious provocation to Orion or his court. Pretty sure breaking into his private library will count.
This is the first I've heard of you having to get permission for anything.
I try not to do anything other than that would require it. The night allowance requires me to get approval if I do, though. So, he lets out a long-suffering sigh. We're gonna have to go meet the mayor.
Fun. I got a question, though. Last night, did you get approval for meeting Glim in the darkness? It's a short walk into the Belchester village, and from there to the town hall. Albert's steps noticeably slow as we approach the front steps. What is it? Are you scared of the evil politicians?
Not scared, it's an awkward situation. It's just... Okay. There's no good way to say this. Mayor Meta's interested. It's probably the only reason I get away with the allowance remaining untouched.
Oh. A moment passes. Does she know about the supernatural realm, Mr. Knight?
She knows as much as she needs to. Who knows how much she believes and how much is just her humoring me.
Is this going to be a problem, do you think, me being there?
Mayor Meta's professional, so I don't expect any problems. It's just a scene that I'd rather avoid.
I know all about those. I don't see any other way around the matter, though. And if there's no way around other than over or under, you have to go through. I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll work it out as we go. We're shown to the mayor's office with shocking efficiency. She receives me with a polite smile as we enter, and Albert with a beaming grin. Albert, what a treat this is. What can I help you with today? In response to the mayor's shining pleasure, Albert suppresses his feelings as much as he can.
We're here to get clearance.
The mayor leans back on her chair and fires off a wry smirk. Ah, one of your mysterious missions, really, Albert. A woman could get offended. You only ever visit me when you want something. Her tone dances on the razor's edge between playful and serious. I can't tell which way it might fall, only that part of her enjoys watching Albert squirm. Go on, then. What's it about this time?
I've got to, look into something. It might require some investigation into the private property of, I guess you'd call them a landholder. It might ruffle some feathers, a lot of feathers. I wanted to make sure you'd be okay with it before I made any moves.
I see. The smile flickers, disappears. What remains is only the calculating precision of a lifetime politician. Poor dear Albert. It's on all your shoulders, isn't it? In an instant, her attention snaps to me. But perhaps it's not. Is this little mission on your behalf, Miss... Isla, Mayor Meta. She murmurs the appropriate nicety that gets straight to the point. What exactly is your relationship with Albert Knight? More to the point, what exactly do you do?
I have enough points, barely. The directness throws me off guard. I have to take a second to gather my thoughts, a second that cost me precious credibility. Concoct a believable cover story. I've had to trot out this story many times over. This well-practiced words flow easily off my tongue. I work for the Pan-Unity Business Association, the PUB for short. We consult and coordinate with small business owners, particularly in manufacturing, maintenance, to grow their companies. Pan-Utility, shouldn't it be PUBA then? It should, but some people are very immature when it comes to words sounding like other words. PUBA. Puba. I don't know. I'm at a loss. The mayor frowns, deepens, but most people lose interest around consultancy. But this is a government office official I'm talking to. She'll have an extremely high tolerance for very boring things. I see. You mentioned manufacturing and... maintenance. Since Sir Knight is a groundskeeper from a long line of highly qualified groundskeepers, we're exploring the possibility of expansion. Albert is. Her dark eyes turn wide in surprise to the man seated beside her. I'd never known you wanted anything more than what you already have. Well, I figured it was time for a change.
And this is, the change you've chosen?
Albert avoids her eyes.
It's just all the planning at this stage. If things go well, however, Albert might be the head of a national chain of groundskeepers, graveyard, gardens, or whatever people require. Well, that all sounds very promising.
She means boring, and she's right. We're too polite to say it.
What does this have to do with Albert requiring my permission for whatever he's doing, may I ask? Well, aside from the financial aspect, we do need to interview the groundskeepers of the families in the vicinity, perhaps offer them a competitive rate to work as contractors. Ah.
We understand each other without saying anything. The last thing any rich or powerful person wants is their servants having any sort of upper hand, and the story gives me the perfect cover to be wandering around without provoking suspicion. She believes your story and will support you.
Don't worry about a thing, then. You have my full support.
Thanks, Asmi.
Anytime, Albert.
The phone on the mayor's desk rings. She picks it up, speaks a few short words, and then puts it down again.
Good news, Albert. Your favorite person is coming to visit.
Oh, God.
I just don't know why you two boys can't play nice.
My unspoken question is answered as the door opens and a hulking frame enters. I knew you'd show up here eventually. I have an appointment, Archie. You stick your appointments, you goddamn leech.
Constable?
The word delivered evenly and calmly has the effect of a knockout blow. The constable is immediately cowed. You know he's just draining your funds, Esme. You can't...
We are in my office, Constable. If you're going to be here, you must use each of your proper titles.
Sorry, Mayor Meta.
That's better.
She shifts gears so easily, swapping one mask for another in an instant. I wonder which of these is her true self, if any. Neither of them.
Don't take him too seriously, Albert. You know he just wants what's best for the town.
Yeah, I know. Which, with the way Smith is looking at the mayor, none of us believe that for a second. What's he asking for now? I'm sitting right here, Archie. and I'm talking to the mayor. The mayor rolls her eyes at me in female camaraderie, as if to say, look, these boys just can't stop fighting for 1 minute. It's because male beating their chest.
Nothing unusual, Archie. Just clearance to go about his business, as is required for the night allowance.
Yeah, nothing to do with the strangers they were fighting with last night.
Pardon?
Uh-oh. This time the mayor looks genuinely surprised, and the constable delighted with his unexpected victory. Some bloke I'd never seen shows up in the plow last night. Barely a minute goes by before Albert's nearly swinging in his face. Would have turned into a brawl if I hadn't stepped in.
Albert, can you explain this?
He looks at me, which in turn causes the mayor to look as well.
Is it something to do with her?
This is one of those times where the secrecy of my job is a real pain. I have to think of something and fast. What sort of thing would this woman want to believe? I mean, you could honestly say he's a competitor, and that things got heated and he disrespected you as a woman and Albert stepped up as a man. Bam! Look at me go! I know. I'm pretty light on my feet and thinking. It's all drama, though.
I knew the man Constable Smith is talking about 10 years ago while we were studying. He wanted to be together badly, and I never really took an interest. Oh, what? Why not?
She props her chin on a hand, unable to resist a bit of girl talk.
Let me put it this way. He knew exactly how attractive he was. Nothing less attractive than that.
And yet, some of you women still fall for it.
Exactly.
I'm warming to the tale now. The ideas coming, one after the other.
The woman who was with him, that's his cousin. We were very close at the time. It's actually how Orlando and I met, through Glinda. Apparently she's been feeding him information ever since. Oh no, he couldn't just find out himself. No, not after how he acted. I have him blocked on everything, and have done so for years. About what the constable saw last night was a chance encounter. Apparently he's been carrying that grudge for a long time. He saw me with Albert and just exploded.
The constable has the tact to look abashed, now that I've explained myself. I didn't know that's what was going on.
That's because you immediately jumped on Albert's ass.
Because, caveman beat chest like dumbass.
No, you didn't.
The mayor takes pity on him with a gentle pat on his arm.
Never mind, Archie. Let cooler heads prevail next time, eh?
To me, she delivers a warmer grin. No doubt she feels closer after having heard that story, even if not a word of it was true. Technically it was, because Orion thinks he is the prettiest thing in the land. She believes you.
You won't have to worry about him while you're in town. Archie and I both promise you that.
The phone rings again. The mayor picks it up, listens, and cradles it on her shoulder as she rapidly types out an email. The knot of friendships she's tied herself in is enviable. I find myself admiring her for the poise in which she sails through it all. That way, she looks at Albert as all the more heartbreaking for the fact that they can never be. His work won't allow it, and as a puppy dog smitten as Smith clearly is with her, that will never happen either. A little love triangle I see, too. It's a tightrope walk. Being a woman in power, she can't be too soft nor too hard. Listening to her deliver crisp, clear instructions over the phone, I can see she's able to walk it with ease. The phone returns to its cradle with a click and adds me to our conversation with a smooth smile.
Well, I think I've heard enough. You both obviously got a lot of work to do, so I won't keep you. Albert, Isla, thank you for doing your due diligence and coming to me first. It would have been easy to just take action and leave me to manage the cleanup later, but you didn't. That won't be forgotten.
We'd never want to cause trouble for you, Esme.
Done right you wouldn't.
You can't completely suppress the flirtatious glint in her eye.
Best of luck to you both.
Relief washes over me. We give the proper niceties and get the heck out of there before anything else can go wrong. Archie comes out with a nightstick. I'm not done with you yet, boy.
Nettie.
I'm serious. Nettie's there when we return, laying out several garments.
What's this? Albert lifts one of the various pieces. It's a set of leather armor, well treated and kept in very good repair.
Preparation. I got Nettie to pull out some of the family armor for you.
You think we're going to need to be armored?
It's a wild place. Any advantage could save our lives.
There's plenty of sense in that. I look over each of the sets and consider my options. We have options! Quilted. I want to say quilted picker up or downy. Shut up! Furred. I like that one. Laced. So laced is the free one. Quilted or furred. Hold on. I see the boots. Those aren't too bad. Reminds me of Witcher. Quilted just... it's not even something you would see in Hogwarts, let's be honest, but it's okay. I don't know. I thought about it. Furred it is. Doesn't really look furred, but there's a little bit. Am I happy with this? Yes. We can change our hair. Half ponytail colors. I mean, ginger would still fit what we're doing. This would just literally slaughter our hair. I'm gonna go with... hold on. Oh, some of these aren't diamonds, I don't believe? So these are like free ones, okay. I'm gonna go with pulled back ginger.
Hello, my name is Henry Cavill.
Yes.
You're a witcher.
I turn back and forth, examining myself in a long mirror. How surreal, I feel like a completely different person. You look ready for battle. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Do we get a sword? Nettie yanks her laces tight on her boots and stands. She's changed nothing. Better get going before we lose the light.
You're not.
He gives up with a long sigh.
Never mind, I can't talk you out of it.
That's right, you can't. With the matter settled, we make our way to the gate. She's not wearing any armor. She's wearing literally the same outfit. They could have at least gave her something. Entering the supernatural realm is almost becoming commonplace. I have to catch myself and take a moment to soak in the wonder. I'm wearing armor, exploring a fairy forest. I've joined a noble knight, his sword committed to my cause, as we accompany a scholar in search of arcane knowledge. Everything about this is exciting, even the crack of the twigs under my boot. London has exciting cases, plenty of them too, but many at times. But this, God, nothing compares to this. This is real work. This isn't meditation or management or administration. This is an adventure.
Everything okay?
Everything is perfect. I mean, it's true. It kind of is, an adventure, an RPG one. We reach the lake in good time, pause to rest at the water's edge. The undines float farther out, immersed in their own watery business. Greetings again, knights. I see you have a new companion. Nettie approaches. Albert had instructed her to stay behind us at all times, but there's no command in this world that would outweigh her interests. You're undines, aren't you? Water spirits that purify the streams and rivers? Indeed we are, scholarly one. What did you... I didn't tell them anything. It is apparent your mind sparks and flies far beyond the bonds of your mortal form. Can I ask a few questions, then? We always stop at the water. We'll never get to the library at this rate. The undines bow their heads. Nettie takes that as a permission and launches into an interrogation.
Now you've gotten her started.
Let her have her moment. We've got time. It's a good chance to catch our breath. Albert and I lean against the tree until 20 minutes later Nettie exhausts the conversation and returns. Fascinating women. I want to ask more, but we'd better get going.
Finally.
The forest closing in as we penetrate deeper, the trail narrowing to thin, uneven ruts. We're forced into a single file, Albert cutting through the thick overgrowth in the lead.
I hope you remember those directions, Isla.
Do I? A hasty glance at Nettie and I'm bringing up the rear, with our researcher safely in the middle, offers little comfort. I was distracted at the time, I didn't catch her words. I'm gonna have to do the memory thing, huh? I apologize. My recording function was not active at the time either.
Down to me, then. No pressure. Please don't be time. Mother... A twisted oak. I had to read that real quick. I wasn't going to read it out loud. The large swaying branches of a bright red tree stand out vividly among the deep green of the forest. It takes some time to traverse the heavy brush, but soon we're under its canopy. Here it is, the twisted red oak. And if I'm not mistaken, we make a right. The branches curve over us at unnatural angles. For what reason, I can't tell.
This doesn't make any sense. Red oaks are native to America. Who planted it here?
It's a fairy forest, Nanny. Don't think too hard about it.
Save for the gnarled oak, you remember the correct path. Woohoo!
Everything looks much the same. Trees, trees, and more trees. I know. It's beautiful.
Where now?
Right to the river. Yes. The rush of the flowing water points me in the right direction. I make for the sound, and we soon stumble upon a slowly flowing river. I'm gonna have to remember the saying next, aren't I? Oh, I don't know how normal people do it. You know, they either got good memories, right? Which, yay, but give it a day and you'll forget. Me, give it a month and I'll still remember. It's just I have to recall it.
This is it, the deep river. If we follow this, we'll get where we need to go.
You're making progress. Following the riverbank brings us to our destination. A large dome building of ancient stone, perched in the middle of the lake. Huh. Scanning the far shore, Albert suddenly crouches down, motioning sharply for us to do the same. Look, there's guards. Yeah, we give them some little, secret message thing, and there are? He's right. 2 large trees near the entrance are actually living creatures, flanking either side of the large oaken doors.
Spriggans, must be.
It looks like a... Trent. If you've ever played World of Warcraft. That's actually really cool. I like that. It's unclear from this distance whether they have seen us or not. We may have some time to make a plan. Sammy, what are Spriggans? I already know. I don't want to know. It'll teach everybody that doesn't know what a treant is. I do.
Spriggans are tree-like creatures most commonly found in the wooded areas. Their immense size causes them to be considered by some to be the ghosts of giants. They can often be found guarding hidden glades, caverns, cairns, buried treasure, and are hostile to anybody who approaches.
Perfect for guarding something like a fairy lord's secret library. They're also like Groot, but bigger and better.
Correct, Mr. Knight. Fairies have been known to use Spriggans as bodyguards. Have you encountered them before?
Not personally. Orion has enough power that he doesn't need protectors.
Especially not tree giants.
Natty taps her chin and thinks.
Sammy, remind me, do Spriggans have any weakness? Our iron rings aren't going to do much against something of that size.
They're trees. Fire.
What?
Sorry, not sorry.
One other common method is recorded. Miss Kim turn your clothes inside out.
What?
Excuse me?
After a moment of surprise, Nettie smacks her forehead.
Of course. There are stories of tricking fairies that way.
She flicks a look at her semi-protective leather garb.
I don't think we can do that in armor, though.
Probably not.
Agent Isla, please be careful. Spriggans are known for their foul moods.
I'll keep that in mind. A quick scan of the area reveals no other entrances. Searching for any more closely would require swimming across the lake, which would certainly alert the guards. Nothing for it but the direct approach. Albert takes the lead with me by his side, and Nettie a few steps behind. Our arrival is, of course, immediately noticed.
Stop!
We stop and lift our hands.
Oh, girls, this is not a place for you.
Their speech shifts unnervingly back and forth. Their movements, too, are near synchronized. Excuse me.
I suspect Spriggans are some sort of communal floral rather than individual minds. Easy, fellows, we come in peace. My words do not soothe, or fists creak with an ominous sound of bending wood.
Nobody's allowed in this place. Get out of here before we make you get out.
Albert glances from one creature to the other, his hand flexing on the hilt of his sword.
We can't take these guys, not without getting seriously hurt.
So the password is our only other chance. Something about deep woods. Oh my god, it's not time, thank god. Okay, it needs watering. Call you home. Needs aid. Must be nourished. Oh, I'm taking a drink after that. Nourished makes sense. Because, one, everything floral must be nourished. Also, two, the mind must be nourished, which means learning, and it is a library, so it makes sense. For a terribly deadly moment, I fear that my memory may have failed me. That Albert may have to respond with deadly force. Then, slowly, their limbs lower.
You may pass.
The tension in my stomach slowly unknot. Carefully, we move past the Spriggans and enter the library.
Thank goodness. That could have gone a lot worse.
You made it to the library without a single mistake. Woohoo! Do I get an achievement for that? That'd be great, thanks. Listen, the average attention span right now of people is about 5 to 7 seconds. Did you know that? Not even kidding. The average attention span and memory of a person right now is 5 to 7 seconds. Yeah, no, it's a huge problem, I'll be real with you. The cold floor of the library is a relief after so much even ground. Adventure, this may be. Still very much a city girl. We have arrived at your destination. No. Even Albert gave the look. The halls are now narrow, twisting, utterly silent. Albert moves first, inspecting the immediate area for any further threats. The collection exists outside my databanks. I cannot assist in cataloging without a full scan of the entire library. That'll take way too long. I'll do a lap, see if I can work out Orion's method of organization. What should we look for in the meantime? Books on magic, historical documents. We won't find his diary, but there might be something chronologically, or chronicling the era of his rule, or that of his predecessors. I glance at Albert. He's tense, eyes flicking between the door and the halls, every hidden or shadowy corner. How much do you remember about the ruler before Orion?
Almost nothing. Orion came in during my great-grandfather's tenure as knight. What surviving records we have are very sketchy at best. Who knows what sorts of tricks he laid on this place in all that time. Stay on your guard, ladies.
Natty nods and turns, striding soundlessly down a corridor.
And she's gone immediately.
He looks directly at me.
Stick with me. At least I'll know you're safe.
He's more worried than he lets on. The question is, will I comply? I mean, if we split up, it'd be smarter, but... Diamond choice. Don't worry, Albert. I won't go running off on you.
Thank God. I can't handle two of you.
That being said, we won't have any idea what to look for until Nettie comes back with a list. A vague instinct brings us to some shelves occupied with large dark tomes.
I guess we just start looking?
There's no real method of organization that I can see. The spines reveal their books range from history, fiction, to esoteric compendiums of things long past. Imagine how much undiscovered knowledge is just sitting here, hidden away from the world.
I'd rather not.
He's standing close, studying a shelf slightly above my eye line.
Is he like this in the other places? Other areas of supernatural realm?
Some. Lund doesn't have quite as much free space as these endless worlds. Though there was something in Luxembourg once, in my early years as an agent. An enormous cache of hidden knowledge stored under the mountains. I swear if it had something to do with dwarves. I made my name out there in the Ardennes, along with a rather lot of friends and enemies. It was an eventful few months. I smile at the memory. A story for another time. It'd take too long to tell now.
Well, you dismiss that experience so easily. I glanced at him sidelong. He stuffed his hands into his pockets, immersed in memory. My life's so small in comparison to yours.
I wouldn't say that. You may not have traveled widely in the mundane, but, well, look where we are now. I cast a hand across this great silent hall of this repository of knowledge. How many Belchester natives can say they've been here? He smiles, only slightly, pained, but a smile nonetheless.
Well, even that would never have happened without you.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I do.
Before the moment can get too mushy, I turn my attention back to the books. One volume, a shimmery amber color amongst the gray-green, catches my eye. Could you get that one down for me?
I'll do you one better.
His hands grasp my waist and lifts me into the air until my hips are level with his head. I squawk and steady myself against the high shelves. Oh God, warn a girl next time, would you?
Sorry, couldn't help myself.
Uh-huh. I got my eyes on you, sir. I look down, flushing slightly at the knowledge of how close my thighs are to his face. You lifted me so easily.
I told you, didn't I? The Knight family got a special strength in their bloodline.
So I see. It's a secure feeling. Even with my armor, he supports my full weight without even breaking a sweat. That's beyond strong, straight into the supernatural. I wonder briefly where exactly this magical strength springs from, but that thought is quickly chased away by him adjusting me so I'm planted on his shoulder.
Do you see the book you wanted up there?
What are you, a parrot? Yeah, she's on his shoulder. This would have been a great moment for artwork for that. It's hard to focus. My thigh nearly touches his cheek, and the one side of my rear is now cushioned neatly on his broad shoulder. His arm circles me, supporting and balancing. Yes, it's somewhere along here. I take more time than I need to, pretending to search for the book right in front of my face, memorizing the feel of his fingers gripping my legs and waist. Does he? No, I'm stalling. Can I feel his breath through the fabric of my trousers, or is it just my imagination? The silence feels so much more intense as I trace the spines of the books, barely comprehending their titles in my tumultuum. I think I found it. Who is this person I'm becoming? My better judgment wars against my sudden impulses, like how easily it would have been to just swing around, plant my legs on the other shoulder, and, Okay, let me down now, please.
Uh-huh.
He shifts his grip and lowers me onto the ground. The glimmer in his eyes as my feet touch the ground, his touch lingering at my sides, is unreadable. Not because I can't work out whether he's interested or not, because my own mind is so muddled with desire that I cannot trust myself to think clearly. Thank you, Albert. It was very helpful.
Uh-huh. Anytime.
I'm thankful for the chance to study this book. It gives me time to calm my sudden pounding heart. After a thorough examination near the entrance, I can only come to one conclusion. There's nothing here. All these books are written in code, unknown dialects, or simply irrelevant. This isn't working. I'm gonna have to go deeper in. I feel like there's a pun there.
Find Nettie while you're at it. I don't know where she wandered off to.
I nod and move on, delving further into the silent halls. The library is far bigger than I expected. My steps feel like they're being swallowed by a great silence, like any noise might alert some unseen horror. Nettie. Yeah? Her voice is so sudden and close that it makes me jump. God. Her frowning face and the rest of her appears from behind the nearest stack. A notepad hangs open in her hand, covered in close, tiny writing. It's just me, relax. I press my hand on my chest and feel my pounding hard. Sorry, never mind. Did you find what you were looking for? Enough to make a start. I got distracted by this. She indicates an alcove between two long shelves in an indecisive gesture. Come, take a look. A special red book. The library feels even quieter as we enter the alcove, a circular space populated by a single lone stone plythe. Atop that plythe, bathed in pale light, a heavy tome. It's a book. A very well-protected book. She passes her hand through the air above the book. The light shimmers in proximity and then suddenly intensifies, whipping out a sharp crack of static. Ow! Ah, no wonder she was grumpy. She sharply withdraws her hand. A light red mark has been left behind on her fingertips and palm. Are you okay? It did that when I touched it the last time. So you did it again? I mean, yeah. This is why you tell children not to touch the burner. I had to show you what happened, didn't I? I mean, not really. You could have told us. Nettie frowns to the tome, sucking her stung finger. What I don't understand is why this book in particular is under such heavy protection. Everything else I've found, I could take right off the shelf. I suppose the Spriggans provide all the protection those books would need. She bends down and squints, examining the books as closely as the barrier will allow. But not this one. Something about this one seems different. Different how? I don't know yet. I mean, clearly the fact that it's sitting alone under protection spell says it's different. Not being able to work this out must kill her. She straightens back up with a disconsolate mutter. Never mind, shelve it for now. Natty rips a piece of paper from her notepad and thrusts it into my hands. In the meantime, you can unshelve these. You know what you could have done is take a piece of paper and, wave it over the thing. It would have been shocked too, right? Or caught on fire, one of the two. Look, a list of books. These are the most likely candidates. Find these books, we might be able to make a start on working out how and why Orion laid a geese on you. That was fast. I don't mess around. She darts one last glance back at the tome under its shimmering force field. Let's get back to Albert before he has a heart attack from the stress. We return to the main hall, to Albert's visible relief. Thank God you're both okay. Psst, look, she stuck her hand in lightning twice. Believe it or not, no bibliographies tried to eat me in the last 10 minutes. She rips another page from her notepad and hands it to Albert. Find these. If I understand the organization of this place right, they should all be, somewhere around here. I look down at my list. The Complete Encyclopedia of Deepwood's Magic, lord and bound in red leather. A slim green volume of herbal tinctures, and a purple book etched with stars written by someone called Oleander. Ah, there's a familiar name. Yep, get to it. Oh, I'm gonna have to remember again, aren't I? Red, green, tinctures is the green one. Red, I already forget. Oleander, stars. I let that order pass and started the nearest shelf. Encyclopedias are by far the easiest to find compared to other books. They're enormous and identical. The one that looks for red. Okay, that one's easy. I think this is it. That and it's a lot more sooner. Short-term memory should prove fine with it. Looking at the collection, I raise my voice and call out through the library. Nettie, do you need the whole set? Yes. Put them on the desk near the door. The collection takes some time to transfer. By the end, I'm a little out of breath and have to pause to lean against the desk. Do you know that the entirety of the encyclopedia could easily fit on a single memory stick? It would only be a fraction of these books' weight and space. Very illuminating, Sammy. Can you scan these and give me a summary? I cannot. This text is not in any language with which I am equipped. Great. Having a human researcher on hand does come in handy at times like this. Once I feel sufficiently recovered, I dust my hands and return to the shelves. The next one is green tinctures. I flip through the books. It's all Greek to me. Not literally. That would be far too convenient. This could be the right one. I delivered to the desk. And the final one was God, what was it? Stars Oleander. I rub the bridge of my nose with two fingers. The dim light and dust are starting to get to me. Oleander. Whoo! I had to read it real quick. It'll have to do. I drop the book on the desk just as Albert and Nettie return with their own armfuls. I hate time choices. You correctly identified all books, thank God. Nettie scans my findings with approval. This is all of them. Good job. No problem. Albert and I step back to give Nettie the space she needs to organize everything. Do we think we'll find what we need in here?
Who knows?
You've dealt with these fairies all your life. You really don't have any idea?
It's because I've dealt with them forever that I don't know. There's masks on the lies and tricks on the masks, and you can't even trust a fairy to tell you the truth.
They've seemed forthcoming so far. Really? How's getting back to London treating you? Aren't you being... I don't think it's being prejudiced. I don't agree with either of these, but I will lean more towards his thought.
I'm speaking from experience.
The two can be easily confused.
Not in this case, they can.
Can you two shut up? I'm trying to read. We mutter our apologies. The ensuing peace gives me a moment to reflect. This place is so very different from pub headquarters. Everything digitized, labeled, cataloged. You'd never have to corridor you couldn't see the end of in my office. You'd never be unable to look something up. The secret library in a deep forest perched on a lake and guarded by Spriggans is a very different feeling. Knowledge hangs in the air as heavy as dust. I rub my arms against a sudden chill. Did it just get colder in here?
I didn't feel anything. Maybe you're standing in a draft?
A rich, velvety voice chuckles in my ear.
Less a draft, more an interesting storm.
I whirl around, suddenly face to face with Orion's arrogant grin.
Hello, my little trespassers.
Albert's sword is out of his sheath instantly, heralded with a ring of naked steel.
Where the hell did you come from? I came from where I was, now I am here, never mind it. For the here is much more important than the where.
Oh, shut the hell up!
He's close enough to grab me.
I think he's about to, until the outstretched hand turns into a slow caress along the side of my cheek.
Here is exactly where you should not be, Isla.
His eyes snap up to a dark corner of the ceiling.
And you, get down from here. Get down here.
Out of the corner of my eye, I see a pair of green wings fluttering in the darkness. She descends slowly until she touches down to where Albert and I stand. Hi, Glim, how are you? Orion's fingers slide off my cheek and drop, hanging by his side.
Oh, Glim, I'm disappointed. Unaccountably disappointed.
Lord Orion, I'm sorry,
I did not ask for your response.
His volume doesn't raise a decibel, yet I swear the room shakes.
I'll get to you later. I have some thieves to deal with first.
We're not thieves. We haven't stolen anything.
Not yet.
Technically, you're stealing knowledge. That's how he looks at him. His eyes slide off of Nettie, clutching her books. They slip past Albert with a total lack of concern towards the gleaming blade in his hand.
You have one chance. Speak your piece before I decide your punishment.
He's not joking. I feel Albert tense, ready to spring the second Orion strikes. I have mere instants to think. My mind, honed from years of casework, snaps the pieces together with a rapid efficiency. Here are the facts. Glim took a huge risk defying her lord to tip us off, risked herself again to watch over us and ensure our safety without even letting us know she was there. Orion, too. The loyalty everyone shows towards him, I don't feel he would take any pleasure in punishing us at all. There must be something behind us. Too many things don't add up. And then there's the issue of our immediate safety. Mine, Albert's, Nettie's. These brief moments only allow me to advocate for one party. In this critical moment, who should this party be?
I would assume us.
Oh. So we have to advocate for either us or Glim. I'm assuming us or Glim. Let me think. Alright, I'm gonna take a chance. Because it's either advocate for Glim or I'm assuming the other one is for us, so let's see. His bare teeth gleam in the dim light. What a dangerous assumption to make. It's not an assumption. You're good, Orion. I know you are. Orion is surprised at your belief in him. Okay. For just an instant, I steal a glimpse of the wariness in the man beneath the mask. Returns once more.
I could kill you as easily as breathing. Your mortal life could be snuffed out by my hand in this place, and nobody would ever know.
You'd know.
You think that would stop me?
I know it would.
He sighs deeply, allowing his eyes to drop from mine. When they raise again, he's once more wearing an ironic grin. You don't make this any fun at all.
Sorry. I'm a real party pooper.
There is so much to consider, and this is not the place to do so. He extends his hand, palm up. Come, we shall continue this in my court. Albert grips his sword more tightly. And if we say no? You misunderstand, my dear young knight.
The atmospheric pressure of the library intensifies. My eyes begin watering. My head feels like it's being squeezed by a staggering force.
This is not a request.
Our senses are barraged with an onslaught of magical power, immensely more powerful than anything I've seen Orion demonstrate before. He's powerful. Horribly, terribly powerful. I get one brief glance at Albert and Nettie falling where they stand before the darkness consumes me too.
Don't worry. He'll go, Glim, carry one of them.
Yes, my lord. 3 empathy, 5 expertise, no efficiency, and diamonds. Alright, so without further ado, if you did enjoy with the content that I do, me reading, voices, etc., please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, letting me know your thoughts, if you're looking forward to more whatnot. Looks like we have at least another episode to go. I know, I'm playing catch-up. Just to give you guys a quick plan of what I'm doing, is again, right now, it's between these 4 books that I'm playing catch-up on. We're getting close to pretty much the end of Kali Season 3, and then that's it from there, besides the prequel. Soulless, I know a couple of you have been asking for it. Again, I'm trying to play catch-up. Right now, playing catch-up has done these 4, right? This one, haven't seen an update, literally and figuratively, since June, so it sure would be nice if they'd actually release that. Aside from that, these are completely caught up. Right? The Missing, Time Capture, and Astria. So pretty much we went through 3 whole seasons, we went through 2 whole seasons, and we went through this brand new book coming out. And then I've dabbled with a few things here and there. So again, if you guys want to see more of this content, especially more frequently, yeah, you know, please make sure to list it, share it, show interest in it. That's the whole idea behind this, is to show interest in it. Sorry if my voice is a little bit off. You know, just going through a few things and then also being sick on top of it, so keep that in mind. But pretty much the whole idea right now is to, right now I'll be someone told me this is like the last episode, if I'm not mistaken, before this is completely done. So right now I'm taking advantage of the diamond rushes to take care of this, because right now 1 is going on. And so, you know, let's put it this way. The reason why I'm doing that is because like, we spent, I think it was 400 diamonds on one of the last videos. And I'm like, okay, so if that's the mentality behind this, and I try and get in every single day for the login bonus, I try and do the ads, I do all that. Basically, the long story short is I'm trying to store up for when books release versus spend it on playing catch up. Because then I'm going to have nothing when the app updates, and then I'm not going to be able to spend anything, and then I'm not going to be able to put anything. And I'm trying to give you guys 110% and trying to give you guys the best possible enjoyment of content, especially for those of you who may not be able to do all the diamond choices. And you're like, man, what happened? I want to go see. So again, that's my whole mentality behind it. So do keep that in mind. Otherwise, thanks again for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.